Hello, Davison. Superintendent Kevin Brown coming to you with another edition of Brown's Blog. I'm here today in the DTV studio at Davison High School, and I want to talk a little bit about our 2020 bond proposal. All of this really started last year. When I took over as the superintendent in January of 2019, almost immediately we began talking about our facility needs, because in Davison, as you know, we have a lot of needs in the district, especially here at Davison High School. So we began the conversation about what we might need in order to really give Davison a facelift and also meet some of the critical needs that we have in our district. So last March, we began to have public discussions with the Board of Education, and we put a survey out to our staff, our students, and our community members, all of our stakeholders, to try to identify what types of things the community, the Davison community, might support in a bond election. And 4 things came back as high priorities. Number 1 was Davison High School. I think most of our stakeholders realize that Davison High School is a tired building. The high school is almost 50 years old. We're still running the original boilers. And basically, as the building is aged, it's not aged real well. Obviously, if you had a house that was 50 years old, you'd really have to have been putting work and time into that house all along. And we have been doing that. But it's getting tougher and tougher to maintain the facility just because of the age, and it really needs quite a bit of work. The other things that emerged as high priorities were security and technology. And then number 4 was actually a new auditorium or a new performing arts center. So with that information, we set out on hiring a design firm, King Scott. They're from the west side of the state. We've been working with them as our architectural firm for a number of years now. They're the group that designed our new tennis courts, which are beautiful. And we also hired DCC, a local construction company, as our construction management firm, to help us move forward in preparing for the bond. Over this past summer, we formed several committees to study what needed to be done if we were going to do security upgrades. We had a security committee, we had a technology committee, we had an athletic committee, we had a performing arts committee, and then we have our building and grounds committee, which really takes charge for a lot of the unattractive work, the boilers, the roofs, the pavement, and things like that have to be done around the district. We met with those committees at least one time, some of them on multiple occasions. And then most recently, as you know, we've held some bond forums. And we got some really interesting feedback from those bond forums. What we learned was that there was a lot of support for a new auditorium. I think everybody realizes that our auditorium is outdated and it's too small. It really doesn't fit our needs anymore. We also got a lot of support for renovations at Davison High School, security upgrades, and technology upgrades as well. So those are the things that we're kind of focusing on, but we also want to touch every building in the district, because all of our buildings have critical needs that need to be addressed. So we've been looking at what can be done and how much is it going to cost moving forward. Right now, we're looking at probably asking for about a 2.9 mil increase, which would allow us about $71 million to address all of these needs. And that's a lot of bang for your buck. When we first started talking about the bond last spring, at that time, to get a $60 million bond passed, it was going to cost us 3.1 mils, cost the taxpayers 3.1 mils. Now, because interest rates have gone down and the economic climate is so good, we can get about $72 million for a 2.9 mil increase. And you might be asking, what does a 2.9 mil increase mean to you? Well, consider that 1 mil is generates about $20 million. a little bit more than that now because of the economy, and costs the average taxpayer about $50 a year. So if you look at, say, a $100,000 house, to do a 2.9 mil increase, you're talking about $150 a year, roughly, give or take. So it's not a huge increase, and we will get a lot of work done around the district for that kind of money. So again, we've got a lot of resources now on the website. We've developed a frequently asked questions document that you can access. We have a link to one of the bond forums that we conducted. That's on our website as well, and you can see the presentation that I did with our architectural firm, King Scott, at those bond forums. And we're going to continue to come to you with these blogs and other communications in order to keep people informed. We really want to be very transparent about what we're doing. We want the community to be well aware, and if you have any questions, we want to hear those questions and concerns as we move forward. So stay tuned. There's a lot left to do, but we're looking at March 10th, the Democratic primary, as our election date to pass the bond proposal, and we're counting on your support. Thank you, Davison.